What's going on, guys? Come on here. What the heck, man? Oh, wait. Almost had it.
2 minutes till broadcast.
For some reason, I tell you what, man, people messing with my stuff. I'm gonna have to just start bringing in my own thing here. So, apparently, someone's been messing. My headphones only went to one ear. That's a little strange. Don't quite know what's going on there. Welcome in, guys. What's up? Welcome into the show. We got the radio program starting here in just a couple minutes as we get everything up and moving. You guys having a good Wednesday? Coming up on the program today, Jay Ellis. Going to be a fun show. Kind of a new guest that we've had on the show. Haven't had him on before, as he is the CEO of the Election Fun board game. Yeah, we're going to talk about a board game and the 2020 election and the 2024 election as we try to lighten up politics just a little bit. So we'll do that coming up. We have obviously a lot to talk about today with
1
the
minute
leadership
till
votes
broadcast.
going on in Washington, D.C. with the House and the Senate. We have the railroad union debacle and more. What the heck is going on, man? There we go. All right, we are live on the social media, so if you are on there, welcome
30
aboard.
seconds till broadcast.
I feel like I'm running a little bit late right now. Just running behind. Wait, I'm not ready. 30 seconds. All right, if you're on the social media, like it out, share it out. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Let's have some fun today on the program. We got a lot to get to. Regardless of the technological snafus here, we're going to make this happen. Program starting here in just a couple minutes. Just a couple seconds. Hang tight.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Degrees.
Fighting for freedom every day.
You as the individual, you have the power. You don't have to join a union. You go in as an entry-level position. You get the experience that you need. And then as you work up, you get better at your job, which means they pay you more. If they don't pay you more, then you go to another company to show what you've learned and what your value is to where you can get more. If they really don't like that, then you can go and start your own damn business because we have a free market, laissez-faire, capitalist society, allegedly, to where you can actually go off and do your own thing.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Darn right it is. Welcome into the program. Thanks for hanging out. Boy, oh boy, what a day it's been today for the midweek celebration, the Wednesday, the greatest day of the entire week. And of course, I'm getting ready for the show, getting all the show prep done, making sure we have everything ready to rock and roll, getting the streams up and rolling, which we are rolling. It seems like everything seems to be rolling relatively smooth. At least I hope so. I put on my headphones as we get started here, and then lo and behold, something's messed up, man. I don't know what's going on. I lost an ear. I'm only one-eared today. So everything's got a echoey in one ear, not the other. Don't know what's going on. Anyways, we'll make it happen today. Oh, the technological issues that we have in our first world problems. Welcome into the show. Got a lot to talk about today. Coming up, bottom of the hour, Jay Ellis, a new guest on the program today, and a fun one, as he is the CEO and the creator of a board game. Yes, the board game, the Election Fun board game. Also, he has the Election Fun Network as well, talking about electoral issues as we recap the 2020 election, we recap the 2022 midterms, and we go into our predictions early for the 2024 election as well. So we'll talk with Jay coming up about that here in just a little bit. But welcome into the program, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station. We are all over the country, radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, however you watch or listen to the show. We love you to death. And welcome aboard, your Millennial General reporting for duty. I have to start off, I guess, on the bit of a frustration level, because this is why people have distrust in the Republican Party. We knew it was coming. We were waiting. We were trying to hold our breath to see if the Republican leadership has changed. Because remember, Republicans, they say, we will stop the Democrat agenda as long as you put us in power. They love playing the underdog, don't they? Republicans do oh so well as the underdogs. Put us in charge, and we will stop the Democrat agenda. We will stop the shenanigans in Washington, D.C. We will get our budget under control. We will stop the progressive liberal socialist agenda. We will get this economy back on track. That's what they tell us. Then we see this as we don't even have the true leadership yet. We don't have the House of Representatives yet, as we still try to find out who our leader is going to be as Speaker of the House, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But on the Senate side, we could not get the majority, and I wonder why. Can anybody guess why we lost the Senate, why we couldn't win the majority in the Senate in this last this last midterm election? Can anybody just fathom why we couldn't get the Republicans to flip seats? Maybe it's because, and I'm just speculating here, my own personal speculation, could be wrong, could be right, who knows. Maybe the Republicans don't quite have the leadership that's needed to fight for what Republicans want within the Senate. I'm just throwing that concept out there. Could be wrong. But Mitch McConnell is the House or the Senate Minority Leader leading the Republican Party. While he knows the ins and outs of the governmental system, he is one of the most rhino establishment hacks that we have in the Republican Party. And I'm pretty sure that Republicans are sick and tired of him being the head of the Republican Party in the Senate, being the voice of the Republican Party in the Senate, working and negotiating with the Democrats to tell Republicans what to support or what not to support in the Senate. I don't know if that really reflects into the members of the U.S. Senate, as they did vote for him overwhelmingly to be the House Minority Leader again. But here's his report. Here's his statement today, according to Breitbart.com. As you know, coming up here in just a couple of weeks, we are running into a budget deadline again for the omnibus package because we did not pass a federal budget again through our 12 appropriation bills and then actually pass a legitimate budget. We did what we've done since the Obama era, is just pass another omnibus bill, as we have to pass everything as a lump sum, continue to spend what we have been spending with a little bit more on top, because obviously everything grows with the government. We can't just maintain. And if you don't pass it, then you probably hate the military because they don't get their funding. You hate senior citizens who are on Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid. You hate the programs. You hate people that are on the welfare checks. You hate everybody that's sick or that is low income or that is poor or whatever, and you want them to die in the streets. And that's the argument we hear all the time. Either you pass this or else you are the most hateful person on the face of the earth who does not care about anybody else but yourself, because you're one of those privileged individuals who doesn't have to worry about this. Or you don't care about government workers either, because then they don't get their paychecks as well. This is the argument we hear year after year after year when it comes to passing the budgets or the omnibus bills. And we're sick of it. And the deadline, again, is coming up, I believe, on the 14th of December, if I'm correct. The deadline's coming up soon for us to pass it again, because the federal budget that ended in September to begin in October, we extended it to December. Now you're in holiday mode, and you don't want to focus on this garbage, and now it's coming up again. And while we're trying to work through a transition of power, the leaders of the Democrat Party have already said on board, we're going to pass this, and we're going to increase more spending because that's just what we do. And the leaders of the Republican Party apparently are also on board with this, which is why many people are so frustrated with the Republican Party. According to Breitbart.com, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, I wish he was in the House. He wouldn't have as much to say. But Mitch McConnell said, quote, "We're going to work together to fund, I hope, work together to fund the government, COVID, and the war in Ukraine, all controversial and consequential issues." He goes on to say that our feeling is that Democrats have met a number of their domestic priorities previously through the 2021's $1.9 trillion pandemic relief package and this year's budget reconciliation law, which contained roughly $450 billion in clean energy and healthcare-related spending. And they're insistent on continuing to request astronomical increases on non-defense domestic side spending. And it's a sticking point. So that's where we are, and we're going to keep talking to each other and hopefully work this out. That is the words of a spineless goon who does not care about standing strong and saying no. Remember the Nike? Just do it. And then remember the Dare? Just say no. The drugs? Just say no. We don't want to just do it. We want to say no. Flat out no. Until we have a 12 appropriation bills and a federal budget that has zero new spending, that has zero new programs, that has zero new additional spending, then I don't want it. And I do not care how much the government needs the money. I do not care if we shut it down, and I do not care how long we shut the government down at all. Makes no difference. Shut it down for an entire year. It works just fine over the weekends. It works just fine over the holidays. It works just fine the way it needs to. Shut it down until we get a reasonable federal budget that has no new spending in it, no increases, no new projects, no new spending, no new investments, nothing. Because we have to get this under control. Andy, that's unreasonable. Yeah, I know it's unreasonable in today's times. I know it's irrational in today's times. We have to think logically about these things. As you know, this is the voice of reason. We try to bring reason into the conversation, but I'm so frustrated because we will never, ever, 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 ever get this under control. We have brought in more tax revenue than ever before in this nation, year over year, month over month, quarter over quarter. We continue to bring in tax receipts higher than they've ever been, and yet we are still billions of dollars above that in spending. Meaning with more, you bring in, all of a sudden you are making $50,000 a year. You all of a sudden start bringing in $100,000 a year, shattering your personal income record with how much money's coming in, and say that you're outgoing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. You finally increased your spending to where you want it to be at $100,000. You've never made that much money in your life before, but yet you're still, for some reason, spending $400,000 a year. So therefore, you're still not compensating for what's going out with what's coming in. How does that make sense? And it's the government, they can spend more. And I get it. All these stupid, smart people that went to college and talk about quantitative easing and we need to live in a debt and we need to do this. I don't care. Stop it. Complete freeze. I do not want this. We're going to work together and find a solution and try and slow it down. Their compromise is, let's go ahead and cut one of the programs. They still get their 5 other programs. We're going to pass it, and that's going to be our new federal budget. This is why people, I'm telling you, are frustrated with Republican leadership. So the Senate is probably going to pass it because now it has the support from the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, who has been voted on again overwhelmingly within Republican Senate leadership to have him be the House Minority Leader, or the Senate Minority Leader. And then we go over to the House, where we're still debating on a Speaker of the House because Kevin McCarthy may not get the votes. We have a few Republicans that are standing strong and not supporting Kevin McCarthy. Now, that could be good. It could be bad. We'll see what happens on that vote, because now we're up in the air. Who's actually going to be the Speaker? Kevin McCarthy is going to be another wishy-washy, moderate guy. He's going to be essentially a Mitch McConnell in the House of Representatives. He's not going to do anything different. He's going to be the one as well. Well, we can't shut down the government. We have to work together and find solutions, and we're going to stay strong to our principles and the Republican values, while at the same time passing a massive omnibus bill for the next year that'll go until September of next year, and then we'll do the process all over again because we can't actually get our crap in line. There are some that are not supporting Kevin McCarthy. As we mentioned, right now I believe there's 20. There are pretty hard-nosed 20 Republicans, including Representative Andy Biggs, that says that there are a decent amount that are supporting someone other than Kevin McCarthy. So the question is now, the Speaker of the House is up in the air. We are supposed to be united as a party, which is what we ran on, the Republican platform, the commitment to America, and Kevin McCarthy tried to come out with that during the election to show unity within the Republican Party, which we've said so many times on this program is the Republicans' biggest mistake. Our biggest issue is that we shoot ourselves in the foot because we are so divided internally. Our civil war continues, but the establishment has still a massive stronghold on the party, because if Kevin McCarthy does get it, he's a moderate Republican from California to go along with the moderate Republican Mitch McConnell in the Senate, and nothing of Republican value worthiness will actually get done. So the few outliers then, as the media portrays it, and as other hosts try to portray it, and as other Republicans even try to portray it, that the outliers, the 20 quote-unquote pretty hard no's for Kevin McCarthy, will be demonized. They will be shamed. Their names will be dragged through the mud because they're the ones that are holding out saying, can we at least get someone with a little feistiness in them, please? Can we at least get someone with a little bit more spunk in them, please? Because right now he's not going to get the 218 votes that's actually needed. I was told by a number of people who came to me afterwards who aren't members of the Freedom Caucus, hey, I voted for you, I voted against Kevin, according to Biggs, a member of the House Freedom Caucus, as according to one conservative podcast. So, at least according to Salon.com, the House Freedom Caucus members have joined Biggs in opposing McCarthy, including Representative Matt Gaetz, Ralph Norman, Bob Good, and Matt Rosendale, as well as Kevin McCarthy scrounging to try and get the votes needed for that 218. Will he get it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Sure, let's go ahead and duke it out, but we better unite soon. And we need to find a way to slide the party a little bit further to the right, because Kevin McCarthy will not be the one to get anything done within the party, which leads us up to the bill that they voted on today in the House of Representatives. I'm sorry, I believe it was the Senate that they passed this. Was it? Hold on here. Oh, it was the House of Representatives. Passed this bill, going to the Senate, and we'll see how they pass it, which more than likely it will go through. But it's interesting on how Republicans versus Democrats voted on supporting or not supporting unions and the railways potentially striking and shutting down transportation and distribution across the nation. Democrats voting to stop the negotiation with the unions, forcing them to accept the contracts. Republicans, on the other hand, going the opposite direction. Are Republicans supporting unions now, or is there another reason for it? But as that one goes through the House of Representatives earlier today, according to the Associated Press, what does it mean for the U.S. Senate? And where do we go from here? Where does the economy go from here looking forward as we get closer to the holiday season? Lots more coming up for The Voice of Reason on a midweek celebration. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to The Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring The Voice of Reason live every day on their website at opslens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own. HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You want some more reason throughout the day? Well, now it's easier than ever to find. Here's what you do. Check out the website at HooserReason.com. There you can find past shows, links to all of our social media, special features, our monthly blogs, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to check in frequently as we're constantly working to add more goodies that you'll really enjoy. Also, you can always subscribe and follow our social media sites for bonus content, articles that we use on the show, or maybe some additional rants. Yeah, it's all that and so much more. Check it all out at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners, and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on The Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with The Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
Bring some reason into your day. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
All right, I think we're back in action. I got some new headphones. I think we're good to go. All right. I can hear myself. Things are loud and clear and almost back to normal, allegedly. Not to talk about technical issues on the air, but man, that's when try and talk to yourself with only one ear coming back through and only hearing yourself out of one side. It's like you have a severe cold and you have no clue what you're saying. It's very disorienting. It's very strange. It's almost an experience, man. You need to try it. By the way, I woke up this morning, and I was feeling really good. I woke up, I got ready, did a little exercise this morning, kind of got the blood pumping, and then I figured, what the heck? I haven't done this in a while. And the last time I did it, I was jittery all day, and it didn't quite hit me as bad today, but I took another vitamin B complex this morning. And let me tell you, man, I have been running around this entire radio building all day, acting like I need to run a marathon. It has been absolutely insane. So already the fastest talker on radio is going to talk a little bit faster today because that's just what we do. That's how fast the mind's rolling today, and we got to try and slow down to keep up in some way, shape, or form. So now we have the battle within the Republican Party. We have Mitch McConnell that is leading the Republicans to get on that side that's already caving. The very first challenge, the first test for Republicans after the election saying that we're going to be strong, we're going to stop the Democrat agenda. The first thing that comes up, we're going to go ahead and pass that omnibus bill. No! Lock it down. Shut it down. Shut the government down until we actually get a legitimate budget and say, no, we will no longer ever, 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 ever pass another omnibus bill until we get our 12 appropriations bills. I know it's unrealistic. I know that it's far-fetched. I get it. But at some point, you have to take a stand. And Kevin McCarthy is on the same board. Well, we need to pass this so we can do the commitment to America. No, stop it. And we'll see what happens. Maybe he won't become Speaker of the House. The problem is, though, is that if we can't get the 218 that way, we may have to go further to the moderate side in order to get the 218 and get some Democrat support as well, which could be devastating. Anything's still better than Nancy Pelosi, but can we at least pretend to be Republican to some degree? Because now we have the rail strike. And the House of Representatives passed this earlier today on a 290 to 137 vote, with the Democrats obviously dominating this one, to force the railroad unions, as you know, this potential strike that's been lingering, force railroad unions to accept the contract, which is like $20,000, $25,000 in additional pay and $5,000 in bonuses and whatever else they got. And they were holding out for additional sick time. Now, as you know, I am about the most anti-union guy that you can possibly get because I absolutely despise them. It's time for you to represent yourself, and we don't need no damn union to tell me what to do and what's better for myself because I will decide that for myself. I'm not part of a groupthink. I'm not part of the collective. I'm going to represent individually myself, and if the working conditions are not good for me, then I will go somewhere else where the working conditions are better and a better opportunity for myself. I do not like unions. What's weird about this is that Democrats now, which are funded very largely by unions, are the ones forcing the unions to say, hey, it's time for you just to get on board and go along with the contract. We don't want to hold this up any longer. And the House, they passed it. They passed it, forcing the unions to say, stop negotiating and stop putting up your wall. You need to go ahead and just get people back to work and just be done with this deal. This is the monster you've created, Democrats. You, the ones that like the collective. You had even the DNC unionize yourself because you had to have representation against yourself as a political party because members of the DNC had to unionize to go against the DNC. You've created the monster of socialized, unionized groups across the nation, and now you're backtracking saying, wait a second, we're in control of the economy right now, and if we go into a strike weeks before Christmas time, energy will cease with coal and natural gas and everything else that's transported by railroads. The products that we shipped across the nation and cars and everything else will completely cease. We will devastate the economy where they're predicting near $2 billion a day anytime that they strike. That's how devastating this could be. And Democrats realize that they've created a monster they can no longer contain, and they're now trying to tie this monster back down with legislation from the government. Republicans, they're not supporting the unions. They're just saying, this isn't our deal. You created the monster. This is a private sector matter. Figure it out, guys. We shouldn't have to be part of this madness. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media. Welcome to the Hooser Media Network. It's been a long time coming, and now it's growing bigger and better than we ever imagined. The Hooser Media Network is so much more than just the voice of reason. It's a network for you as a listener and you as a podcaster. It's a network for any kind of talk on any kind of topic, bringing podcasters together to give you a new way to think about the world, and it's any type of show from entertainment to educational. Check out all of our great programs, like Dr. Devin Verana with If They Knew.
Yeah, and it gives you tangible tools. I mean, I'm sure she just mentioned that some people might be mad at the government. I just can't imagine.
No.
I think there's a little bit of anger in the world these days, but I was listening to Wayne Dyer this morning, and he said, if you grab an orange and you squeeze it, what comes out? Juice. What kind of juice? Orange juice every time, right? It's not going to be apple juice. It's never going to be mango juice. It's always going to be orange juice. So whatever is in us is going to come out when we're squeezed. And so I'm sure you're learning that, like, taking yourself through this process continually just adds more and more power, more and more depth of compassion and joy and freedom and all those good feeling things, because you're clearing that space out.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. Now take people, so for anybody listening out there that might have an object of anger, whether it's somebody or something or, objects out in the world these days, take us into some tactical, practical things that they can do. Number one, I'm sure, is to come see you, but what are some other things?
So I skipped that one on purpose when I was going through this, but the first book that changed my life, and I listened to it before I signed up for I listened to her 1 hour Zoom before I signed up for the class. She was interviewing a man who told us about a book called The Four Agreements. And so then when you get into the class, we study the book called Forgive for Good by Fred Luskin. And we went through a process by Michael Brown called The Presence Process. These are all 3 books. And I hate to be this honest, but let me be this honest. You can read those 3 books and know everything I'm going to teach you. But like any good class, I mean, just because I signed up for a class in college, I buy the books. You really need someone to guide you through them.
That, plus tune into Spiritual Smorgasbord with Desiree and Cheyenne.
It is, and we talked about that because then, of course, other things started to happen after that. Of course, that was not my last doctor's visit, by no means. However, we talked about it, and I thought, our ancestors were so smart. They know, whatever ails us, there's a cure for on this planet. We're just not smart enough to know how to use it, but our ancestors were. We need to get back to that. Modern medicine, basically what that is it is what you get from the plant, the healing benefit, just on steroids with side effects.
Yes.
And so a lot of people, modern medicine is considered sexy. It's fast resolving. It's instant gratification. But, and so like plant-based formula, the raw, natural plant-based formula is what is going to work. It's going to be great. It just takes a while. And people want that instant gratification.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So a lot of people try something.
It's been marketed to them that way too.
It
They're
has.
like, oh, that's the old way. It's going to take you forever. But if you just take this, you wake up tomorrow and you can have whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can do whatever you want.
But at what cost?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
my leg is broken, but have some Oxycontin.
Yes.
It's like, dude, your leg is still severely broken. Right. You just can't feel anything.
Yeah. And it's like, so let's go to nature. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know what? There's pain relievers in nature. Marijuana is a great pain reliever.
Yes.
For one. I mean, just
mentally and physically.
Yes. Well, I mean, but there's other remedies out there. And everything that ails us, there's a cure for on this planet.
This whole room smells like peppermint.
We're all getting cured.
We're all getting cured right now. It's a beautiful essential oil I bought from a local, I guess you could say, apothecary shelf, but I'm getting healed right now.
Yes, exactly. It is. And it's all around us. We just need to know how to look for it. And I'm sorry, but that's kind of what we were discussing. And that kind of was what started this whole journey. And what I'm very fortunate that, my spouse and I are together on this. It's not just one of us having a spiritual journey. It's that we're doing this together.
Listen to those shows and so much more on our website, where you can find live streaming, links to the podcast, links to social media, more content, and so much more. It's all online at HooserMedia.com.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Darn right you are. Welcome back into the program. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, however you watch, listen to the show. What's up? Welcome into the show. Always a pleasure to have you along for the ride. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. As we kind of wrap up the conversation regarding the railroad potential strike, the conversation in Washington, D.C., the House of Representatives passing their bill 290 to 137. It goes on to the Senate now to force the unions to accept the contract, as opposed to standing strong and saying, nope, let the unions do the thing. You would think, and this is again just me trying to understand the other side of the aisle, you would think the Democrats would want the strike to happen. Now, I get it. They change their position when they're in leadership and they try to look, quote-unquote, rational, which they're not. But they've created the beast of unions. They've created the socialist mindset of unionization, and they want people to be unions. So they're literally saying, hey, the unions are great. Go join a union. But the union, you pushed the barrier just a little bit too far this time, and now you're going to crash the economy that we're trying to show is doing okay as we wrap up a midterm election of 2022 and go into a presidential election of 2024. But you would think that you would want them to strike because you love unions and you think that it's great to reset the entire economy. You also hate railroads anyways because of how much energy that they actually use. So you have that going for you as well. I think that's hilarious. Apparently you don't want to have clean energy because the railroads are so evil and bad at using all that energy. Let's shift gears a little bit here as we kind of wrap up midterm elections and as we get into our presidential talks of 2024 with our latest in what's trending.
What's trending today?
As I'm excited to have on the program, he is with Election Fund Network, also the founder and CEO of the Election Fund board games, which this is going to be a fun one. This is what you're going to need. You want a stocking stuffer, you want something to have fun with the kids and the family, and maybe that family member on the other side of the aisle. You can go to it, electionfund.com. Excited to have on the program with us here today, Mr. Jay Ellis. Jay, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the program. So, first off, I got to ask you, Election Fund board games, it shows that the 2020 election obviously was a disaster, the 2022 election not looking much better. Before we talk about the actual issues, talk about this board game. What the heck have you created here?
Well, I mean, with all the craziness that happened in the 2020 election, we just decided that that we were just going to bring to light what really actually happened. And, I mean, you weren't allowed to ask any questions. You weren't allowed to talk about it. And so we wanted to get something fun out, a Trojan horse, if you will, because at the time you weren't allowed to say anything about the election.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to comment on it. And so, part of the game is on the inside game are all the 5 swing states where all of the, shenanigans happened, if you will. And, when we were thinking about how can we get this out without, having the FBI kick your door in, we decided, it'd be fun to make a board game and make it for both sides of the aisle. And, I mean, you think of Trivial Pursuit meets Babylon Bee, and that's kind of what we did. And then we also focused on, I told, these guys when we were making this game, I said, everything that we're not allowed to discuss in a year are going to be first and forefront. And, I mean, it was COVID. It was Hunter's laptop. It was, quote, the mostly peaceful protests. It was, tech suppression, it was all the things that you weren't allowed to discuss or that you were a conspiracy theorist. I said, those are the things we need to focus on in the game. And we have all those in the game. And so what we wanted to do is invite your liberal friends over and just go through facts. Just go. I mean, and we made it fun. And then we have trigger cards in the game, which, I mean, one of the trigger, if you think there are more than two genders, or, anybody that pays $500,000 for, a Hunter Biden painting, I want to meet him. I mean, we make fun of all the issues, but then we bring also the facts. I mean, the crazy Russia, back then you weren't even allowed, it was all a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
We have all of those things brought to light, and it's all in a board game. And again, like I told you, it's more Trivial Pursuit meets Babylon Bee. It's super fun. It is a perfect Christmas gift for someone that that's tough to buy for, or if you have any friends that gaslight you for talking about this, or if you want to punk a liberal friend, it is a perfect Christmas gift.
I love this idea. It is so sad. It's funny, but it's sad all at the same time about the fact that politics has gotten to this level where it's so easy to be so satirical and to make fun of political issues today because it's that bad in the country. And whether you're talking about 2020 with the presidential election with Trump and Biden, and you're talking about COVID, or you're talking about Hunter Biden, or you're talking about whatever else happened there with current events and social issues, or even the 2022 midterms that we have here, because you're actually going to be updating this game as elections go along, aren't you?
We are. So there's about 15 cards in the game, and we have a QR code. And you literally, during the middle of the game, if you draw one of these cards, you put your phone over it just like you would ordering at a restaurant. And a mix comes up, or 7 videos come up. And we can update the current environment. A lot of it is all of the things that you weren't, all of the Hippocratic, let me give you an example. In the inside game, you put your phone over a QR code, and it's all the Democrats in 2016 saying the election was stolen, Dominion voting machines weren't safe, you can hack them, you can do all of those things that they say, and then they took down the videos. Basically, we have them all up. And so during the middle of the game, you can watch all these videos. And if somebody says that didn't happen, you say, okay, well, we have all the videos. It's video proof. You can't hide your lying eye.
Yeah.
And we can constantly update this on like we're updating it right now. We have Arizona. We have what's going to happen in the, starting January 3rd with the investigations. We constantly update it. And, so it's always, it's always current.
I love that idea. And, of course, we had the runoff in Georgia as well that I'm sure there's going to be some fun things to talk about there as well. We're talking with Jay Ellis, founder CEO of Election Fund Board Games, which you can find online at electionfund.com. I was going through the website, Jay, and I was looking at the different characters you you have on here. And I guess I got to be careful with radio-edited stuff on here. But Dr. Richard Head seems to be a relatively important figure in this game.
Well, of course, as we know, that's exactly who that is. That's our naysayer, Tony Fauci. And I was just trying to think of a perfect nickname for, or a perfect sidekick for him, and that's just the guy that came. That's just the name that came to mind.
I love that. I love it. Now, the issues that we're seeing today, I can only imagine what's going to come up by the 2024 election. Imagine, if you will, we went through the 2020 election with Trump and Biden, and with how disastrous that was, how funny and satirical it can be, and how easy it was to poke fun at it because of the shenanigans. If we have a rematch of those two in 2024, how outlandish do you think these elections could get over the next couple of years?
Well, I mean, look, we're just now figuring out what, Maricopa County.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that for a second on what happened. What happened literally on over the last 2 weeks, and it's crazy. And I mean, if we don't figure out how to quote ballot harvest or what this is going to be, this is going to continue being the same thing. But it is such an insult to every human's intelligence of what actually went on in Maricopa County.
Yeah.
And then they sit there with a straight face and say, yeah, we thought we did a good job and nothing was the matter. And, I mean, you can't even make this stuff up anymore. You just can't make it up. And the funny thing about it is, they don't care.
Yeah.
Nobody does anything about it. You know, my whole point in this, where is every Republican senator and congressman not standing out in front in Phoenix, Arizona, screaming at the top of their lungs? I mean, where in the hell is all of our representatives? Why aren't they supporting this? We have about 5 of them that speak out. I mean, screaming that you know, I mean, this just can't go on. I mean, it just can't go on. And we are compiling all of the best videos. And if you saw, you know, all the people talking out in front of the, you know, Maricopa Board of Supervisors. And then how about the guy in, was it Yavapai County or Havas? I can't remember. Says, I'm voting aye under duress because if I don't certify this, I'm going to jail.
Wow. This is the madness that we're in. This is the madness that we have to deal with.
Yeah, what planet is that okay? And, you know, I mean, I'm just telling you, people have had enough. But, you know, again, everybody, you know, now we do our best to make fun of all the woke nonsense, and we do. We make our trigger cards, we make fun of all the woke crap. I mean, we just do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, you have all this stuff going on. I mean, you literally can't make it up, and they don't care. I mean, they just their whole point is, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Nothing. Nobody says a word. Not every single. Can you imagine if that was in Detroit, Michigan, or Atlanta, Georgia, and the voting lines were 3 hours and the machines were down? It would be on every national news, 24/7 loop on voter suppression and redo the election. I mean, it would be national news all day, every day, 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course. We got to take a break here, Jay. Hold on the line. We got to come back here in just a minute. We're talking with the founder, CEO of Election Fund Board Games, electionfund.com. When we come back, I want to continue on this board game, one of the best holiday gifts that you can get yourself or for a friend, maybe on the other side of the aisle, and we'll have some fun about the upcoming election. Stay here.
With Andy Hooser.
Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to the Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring the Voice of Reason live every day on their website at opslens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You want some more reason throughout the day? Well, now it's easier than ever to find. Here's what you do. Check out the website at HooserReason.com. There you can find past shows, links to all of our social media, special features, our monthly blogs, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to check in frequently, as we're constantly working to add more goodies that you'll really enjoy. Also, you can always subscribe and follow our social media sites for bonus content, articles that we use on the show, or maybe some additional rants. Yeah, it's all that and so much more. Check it all out at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. As we continue to grow as a radio and TV program, we're continuously working behind the scenes to try and bring more common sense and reason to more patriotic Americans all over the country. That's why we're super excited to be working with the OpsLens team to bring you the voice of reason every single day. OpsLens is a national online network bringing you incredible content all day from hosts all over the country. And each host brings their own unique experience and expertise to the current events, reaching hundreds of thousands of patriotic Americans daily. Make sure to check out their website at opslens.com. Make sure to download the OpsLens website and follow them on all of the social media sites that you like, so you can watch all their live streaming content, including ours right here with the Voice of Reason. Plus, if you want more of the Voice of Reason, check out our website online at HooserReason.com. There you can listen to the live audio feed of the show every single day. You can read our monthly blog. You can check out our satire infomercials. You can see pictures of what we're doing, upcoming schedule of events, and a heck of a lot more. On the website, you can find our list of radio and TV affiliates in your area. Find our social media links, and while you're there, sign up for our free newsletter. Over the last 2 years, your Voice of Reason newsletter has grown exponentially. It's completely free, and in it we give you your monthly motivation, upcoming civic holidays for the month, a recap from the show from last month, upcoming guests on the program, along with the latest news from our Hooser Media Network. It's pretty simple. All you got to do is go to the website at HooserReason.com and become the next Hooserholic. Finally, follow us on all of our social media sites. With the iron grip control on content from the radical left, unless you follow us, you're not going to be able to see us. It's been an ongoing battle with shadow banning on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where even our own fans are having a hard time finding our content. But the battle isn't over. We'll continue to bring you the best content we can on as many platforms as possible. You can follow us with the handle at Hooser Reason. No matter what social media site you like to use, you can find us there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch.tv, Instagram, TikTok, OurFreedomBook.com, Parler, and of course our website at HooserReason.com. Don't miss it while we give you a heads up on some of the events that I may be attending or speaking at, updates of behind-the-scene projects, or just something sarcastic to try and rile up the left. The battle for freedom is real, and we want to be part of that battle, as we want you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Conservative principles happen at the grassroots level, and that's what we're here to help with. And together, you and I can fight back against this virus that's spreading across the nation that is socialist policy, trying to destroy this country. We can bring us back to some constitutional values, some individual sovereignty, and the right for you to be able to make your own choices when you deem necessary for you, your family, and your community. In a world of fake news and information overload, it's time to bring back some reason, common sense, guidance, and a little bit of wisdom. And that's what we're here to do. This is the Voice of Reason.
Fighting for freedom every day. The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Darn right it is. Welcome back into the program as we wrap up the show. Last few minutes here of the program for a midweek celebration. By the way, I want to remind you about our newsletter coming out. Become a Hooserholic if you have yet to do so. If you haven't, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Get on it. We have our monthly newsletter coming out on Monday next week, probably. So if you have not signed up, go to the website, HooserReason.com. That's HOOSER Reason.com. Sign up, become a Hooserholic. You'll get our new monthly. We're not going to charge you. It's free. It's just an email that pops up every month. We talk about what's going on with the show, our monthly blog that does get distributed, by the way, not just to our website and to our newsletter, but also to opslens.com, as it is an op-ed there, which is really awesome. And we love those guys and appreciate them picking up. I'm not a writer, so the fact that they even pick it up as an op-ed on their website is very cool. We appreciate that very much. We also talk about guests that we've had on the program, things that we've talked about, and the upcoming holidays, civic holidays, for the following month. So it's great. Go and check it out. Become a Hooserholic. Again, go to the website at HooserReason.com. Right now, we're talking about the elections. 2020's election, 2022's midterms, 2024 upcoming election, as we have Jay Ellis, the founder, CEO of Election Fun Board Games, which you can find online at electionfun.com. Highly recommend. This is going to be my own personal stocking stuffer, because why the heck not? I need to see this. I need to play with it and let people know about, have the conversation. We talk about not wanting to talk about politics and religion at the dinner table, but I think the perfect time for the holidays, with Thanksgiving that just passed, with Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, and New Year's, maybe sit around with the family and the friends and have the conversation. I mean, Jay, that's the perfect time to have these conversations, right?
I agree 100%.
That's what it's all about. So talk about some of the ideas, like you said, as you progress with these new elections, and you're going to be updating new things. You said you're going to be updating things with like Arizona and Maricopa County. Talk about some of the ideas as you evolve this game and with more features. What else are you guys going to be including with this?
Well, including including how?
Well, some of the, I mean, you mentioned you're going to be updating some of the QR codes and some of the new content that you're going to have on there, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Well, we are going to do that. Well, actually, one thing we're going to do is we're in the process of making a drinking game version, and and the rules come in an FBI confidential envelope. So,
that's great.
I mean, again, you can make it as fun as you want, but I mean, the whole thing. What we want to do is, I mean, everybody, sit around your family, and again, it really is for $49.95. Just think of how many people you think, what am I going to get him for Christmas? What am I going to get her for Christmas? What am I going to get my father-in-law, et cetera, or what liberal friend can I punk? I'm telling you, this is the greatest. This literally is the funnest Christmas present they have. And you know what else it'll be great for is a time capsule. Mm-hmm. Buy one, put it on your shelf, and in 20 years when your kids are asking what that is, just say you wouldn't have believed what it was like at that one time. At least let's hope we've got it all fixed out. But I mean, we, like I said, we constantly update it, and for the 2024 election, I'm sure we will update the board and do this new, because I mean it really has been. I mean the people love it. Our feedback has been great. Everybody loves to play the game. Yeah. In the contents of the game, there's one die. There's a blue donkey and a red elephant, and you move around the board. We have fake news cards with Trump on them. We have corruption cards with Biden's picture on them. The inside game is all the swing state. It's just the swing states that happened. That just happened to stop counting on election night in 2020, and we continually update it. We did not miss a trick. We made fun of COVID. I mean, we hit on the highlight. We brought out Russia, Hunter's laptop, the quote, mostly peaceful protests, campaign follies. We basically hit every hot button that every American right now is concerned about.
You covered the whole gamut. I love it. We got about 30 seconds as we kind of wrap up here. But going into the 2024 presidential election, from the satirical, comical aspect and perspective of the election, what would be the best potential outline and head up between the Republican candidate and Democrat candidate? Would it be a Trump Biden? Would it be a Michelle Obama? What would be the best matchup for that on a satirical perspective?
Oh God, on a satirical perspective, it would probably have to be, how about Trump and Pete Buttigieg?
I love it.
Let's just throw that out there. I have no idea. But listen, I really appreciate you having me on your show. I hope your listeners enjoyed this, and I hope they go out electionfun.com, get a great Christmas present, and thank you so much for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it.
It's great stuff. Electionfun.com. Go and check it out. The best holiday gift you can get for this year. Jay Ellis, founder, CEO. We appreciate it, my friend. We'll get you back on the show again here real soon. But that does it for us today. Podcast up in just a little bit. We're back at it again tomorrow for a pre-Friday celebration. This is The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you on the radio. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. When I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own Voice of Reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.